Okay, now the next question is probably very I feel like I know what you're gonna answer, but it's basically you just telling me what is your favorite part to live in South Africa, and what is the place that you would feel connected to your roots and you would recommend people to actually visit and have a good time. Okay, I feel like that's a hard question.
So, yeah, so obviously, my favorite place, there's a saying that says, "Ayikho indawo edlula ekhaya."
Okay.
So it means that there's no place like home.
Yeah.
So obviously, when I'm around Zulu people, I feel most welcome. It's the language, it's the culture, how we greet each other when you walk into a
You
taxi.
understand each other.
You understand each other like that. So eThekwini would be a place where I feel most comfortable and most connected to.
Okay.
I don't know, like I've been outside eThekwini now for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
And I just visit for a month or two. But when I'm there, man, there's just something about being home.
Yeah.
When I hear my grandmother speaking, because also part of not being eThekwini was that I haven't been in an environment where I can speak isiZulu 24 hours.
Yeah.
So, when I hear people at home speaking isiZulu, I get to see some of the ceremonies happening. It's exciting stuff. It's exciting stuff. So definitely eThekwini, the people are polite, the people are nice, they're very, very welcoming. And they're just very, very respectful people.
Oh, that's nice. I would love to visit a more like a part that shows more of the culture. Like I would say, like not a city part, maybe like a part where it shows a bit more of like humble houses where I can see where culture is a bit more practiced and seen like raw without filters. Because in the city, it's very easy to mask things because everyone is like wearing things like clothes like this and but like what is the place that you would recommend people to go and feel like I've seen South Africa, it's like
that is also a very difficult question because we don't want to take away the beautiful work that has been done in developing cities like Joburg and eThekwini City and Cape Town. But that's not where majority of the people live. Yeah. And it might give you a false impression of the country.
Yes.
And so my recommendation, I'm thinking of an affordable place that is closer to the city as well. If you are in eThekwini, it's called ePhezulu Village.
ePhezulu Village.
Yeah, ePhezulu Village. It's a snake park. It's a crocodile park. It has a Zulu hut as well. There's a drama that plays there from the last time that I went. So it will give you an overall amazing experience of the city, of the culture of the Zulus, but also it's very close to the CBD as well.
Okay.
And on your way there, you'll actually see one of the famous nature reserves, the Valley of 1,000 Hills.
Oh, the famous Valley
of 1,000 Hills.
Wow.
Yeah. And then if you want to go real deep in, you can go to the Zulu lands where you can learn about the history that we've just spoken about. ESandlwane, where you get to learn about the history of the Zulus, the wars of resistance, and where those wars occurred. This history is still preserved there. You'll get to see artifacts. You get to understand how those things were happening.
Okay. I feel like that's a place where I want to be. Okay, and now do you when you think about South Africa and how it's evolving and how it's like developing very fast in terms of like if you compare it to any other African country, you would look at it and be like it's evolving quite fast. Do you maybe fear or do you think that there will ever be a problem with like cultural conservation, like in any way, like maybe being forgotten or being, I don't know, maybe not as valued as it is right now? Because I know that South Africans value their culture very much, and I would like to know if you think that there's maybe anything to be concerned about, maybe ever being, I don't know.
That is an interesting question. And I don't think that question is unique to South Africa as well.
Yeah, no,
I
definitely
think
not.
all other African
All
countries,
other African.
face a threat of their languages
Mhm.
disappearing, and their cultures being. And the word culture is also very interesting to me in terms of what you define as culture and what you
Yeah.
define as formal.
Oh.
Because sometimes the things that we describe as formal, I'll make you an example, like a white wedding, normally described as a
It's
formal wedding.
Oh.
And then when you do, and I go and dress like this and do my
It's
wedding,
called a
it's
traditional wedding.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
true.
So it's like the terminology and how we define things is also very, very interesting.
I feel like culture is more connected to like traditions and things that are.
That's the thing, because the white wedding is also a cultural wedding. You see, it's a cultural wedding which has got tight links to the Queen and how she was dressed. Queen Elizabeth I, you know, the white dress and the black tuxedo, you know, it's a culture.
Okay, so it is a culture as well, but just not our culture.
Just not our culture.
I see.
So both weddings, if we're to define them appropriately, there'll be formal weddings.
Yeah.
It's a Zulu formal wedding because you are formal, you know, in your culture. And it's a traditional white wedding, which is also formal in its own culture.
That's true. That's
so,
true. I get it. Yeah.
That's the thing as well. But also with I do have concern with culture and language disappearing. And I'll make you an example. In South Africa, and matriculants are about to write their papers now. Matriculants are like last grade of high school. So we spoke earlier that there's 11 languages.
Yes.
And where I grew up in Guamashi, when I was writing my matric paper of science, of life orientation, of mathematics, it had two translations: the English translation and it had the Afrikaans translation.
Oh.
You see? So
only those two.
We never had a white teacher in our school. We never had a white student. So the whole 100% population writes these papers, science, English, and maths, which are very, very important subjects to build anything in a country. Yeah. You know? So they write them in a language that they can never really relate to the core. You know, you can never fully comprehend as a person who speaks English.
True.
So I think that people like, you know, yourself, people like myself who are now in higher institutions of higher learning have got an opportunity to really decolonize education, is what it's called.
Yes.
So introduce learning methods that are relatable to us. And also our languages as well must be part of the curriculum.
Yes,
you know, I don't understand how doctors who are trained in South Africa cannot speak a native language. How does a grandmother who comes from the village try to explain what their problem is in a way that they understand? You know what I'm saying?
You know, I had this idea, and this is an honest opinion. I had this idea that, because everywhere I go, I hear people speaking in their mother tongue. So I had this idea that everyone, literally, or at least like 90%, my idea is that 90% of the South African population speaks their own mother tongue. Like,
well, we do, but you're not gonna get you're not gonna be able to apply it for university if you do not know English.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to get a job if you do not know English. You know, jobs are limited.
Crazy,
it is crazy. You know, so it things that, you know, we need to look into. Is it really fair that I can't work as an architect if I don't speak English?
That's true, because at the end of the day, it's not even the language of the country, you know. It's not even the language native to the country, but the language that came. So
and you know, without sounding like, you know, we are hating on English, we're not calling for the, you know, total eradication of English, but let English not hold a special place in society that native languages do not hold.
Yes, because then again, we are probably like undervaluing our own background by putting English in such a higher position. Because I mean, for us to like study now, we have to like literally worship English, and our languages are like down here.
Not only that, relatability to the institutions of higher learning. When I get there and I'm studying architecture, references are European references. You know,
It's not fair, eh?
you
It
know,
really isn't fair.
and even I don't know how to explain this to you, but there's scientific evidence that even though I can read it, even though I can speak it, I cannot fully relate to the language because it's not me, it's not where I come from.
Yeah.
You know, so literature needs to change, institutions of higher learning needs to be transformed. I need to be able to write my exam paper, you know, in my own language as well.
Yeah.
It's something that we need to do, but hey, we're gonna see where we go.
Yeah, I see. You know, I've just realized the depth of this question, and I would say more, but this is actually a topic for a whole new video. It would be way too lengthy if we start speaking about certain things and if we try and break it down.
Yeah,